One of the main defining features of a roguelike is randomness. That could be things like randomly generated worlds, items, or abilities. While our game is technically considered a roguelite, the difference being that elements persist throughout the game, we still wanted to add some randomness to our game for added replayability. The obvious candidate for this was the terrain. Not only do players need to be aware of what resources to keep track of in the market, they also need to be able to work with whatever resources they can find in the world. There may be a scarcity of wood, and do you really want to walk that far away for iron? Now then, how does one go about generating a world? Well, the first thing to do is pick your method. A pretty common one is Perlin Noise. If you've played Minecraft, you're familiar with this one. Basically, it generates a splotchy black and white image. If the pixel in a given position is white, that's a 1. If it's black, it's a 0. And anything gray is some variable in between that. Generally, Perlin noise is used for determining the height of something, but nothing stopping you from generating colorful noise. However, we chose to employ an algorithm called wave function collapse. It's commonly used in quantum mechanics to describe a collapsing superposition, but we can borrow the fundamental principle for our own purposes. Here's how it works. At the start, every cell in a grid is in a superposition, with n number of options for tiles it can collapse into. Every cell has a set of rules it must follow, what it's allowed to collapse into given its neighbors. In the simplest method, the rules resemble a gradient, where a tile's list of possible neighbors are just its neighbors in the list. This can get more complicated if you want to add branching rules, or even let the algorithm decide its own rules based on some inputs. Every step in the algorithm we want to collapse the cell with the least amount of possible neighbors, and for any case where multiple options exist, we simply pick at random. So since all of our cells are at 6 possible neighbors, we'll pick one at random, and it just so happens to be this one. Notice how, now that we've collapsed it, its neighbors' possibilities were reduced. This is because, according to our rules, the only tiles that can exist next to the small rocks are trees or large rocks. Now we can collapse a new tile. We find the cells with the lowest remaining possibilities and collapse a random one. This further reduces the possibilities of its neighbors, and we can now collapse them. This goes on until the map is complete, and you have a finished world. This video only covers the basics of wave function collapse. If you're looking for something with more substance, I'll leave links to some videos in the description. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed yourself. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week, where hopefully we'll have a playable demo.